Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group that engages in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri every Sunday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. It is our hope here at the Phlarpin Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players in order to maximize player retention and to expand our player base. The Phlarpin Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening.
All right, welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. My name is Jason Smith, or North.
And I'm Brandon Frazier, or Daveen Alwyn.
And I am Chris, or Eric the Bread.
And I am Jessica, or Mercer Stitch.
Well, hello.
Hi.
How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. I had a good day.
Good.
I want to let you guys know, I'm not going to say any names or anything, but last week on the podcast, I asked you guys if you missed me throughout the week, and one of you really hurt my feelings.
It wasn't me. I said I do sometimes.
I'm just saying, it crossed my mind more than once this week.
So you thought about us? Or you thought about
Oh,
one
I
of
think
us?
about you. I think about all you guys. You guys are my friends. You know?
Even though you see us every week, every single
Yeah,
weekend.
that's for work, you know?
I'm looking for something, but I don't think you have it here.
Is it a...
A tissue.
Yeah. Well, I did cry, so I needed a tissue. Thanks for bringing that up again.
You know what? Right back there.
Yeah. So what are we starting with?
How
How about a weather report?
Yeah, how about that?
A weather report
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
Sunday or for Wednesday?
Whatever you got.
I mean, I can give you one for today, but it's not going to do any good for Wednesday.
Well, I mean, maybe people want to know what the weather was like on our
Today.
day of
Okay, so
action.
how about this? The weather report for Sunday, July 9th, 2023.
Yeah.
It is 79 degrees right now. It is 6:59 p.m. The high today was 81, and the low is 60. So the traffic, it's, Sunday, so little to no traffic. And last night, which would have been Saturday, July 8th,
Right.
the Cardinals beat the White Sox 3-0. And then today, this morning, Max Verstappen, who drives for Red Bull in F1, won the British Grand Prix.
Nice.
And so congratulations to Max.
Aye.
Congratulations, man. I'm sure you'll definitely listen to this podcast, and when you do, Daveen Alwyn is telling you congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
there's
kind of
your-
a big
there's your
deal.
shout out.
Man, that's
So-
big business right there.
It is, but I would much rather shout out the third place winner, Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
Sorry, Sir Lewis Hamilton. He has
Wow.
been knighted by the king,
Which king?
King Charles.
Oh, okay. Because we don't have a king.
King
At
Charles.
LARP yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
But
It will
like,
happen.
Oh, sausage fingers himself, huh?
And to be
Aye.
fair, the Cardinals winning is kind of a big ordeal because what they're like 17 games behind 500 or something. It's pretty bad.
And before we started, I did look it up, and apparently they beat the White Sox again today, 5-3.
Nice.
So
So moving up in the world.
they still suck.
That's not very nice.
just
They
suck
are
a
not
little
very
less.
good right now.
Not very good.
I don't watch baseball, so I
They,
couldn't-
well, let's put it this way. Before the season, they were predicted to be one of the best teams in baseball. Some people were saying they could win 110 games, and they're on pace to win maybe 70. It's pretty bad. They will definitely not make. They're in last place in the Central.
They're like 39 and 51 or
Yeah,
something.
it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Listen, I know so little about baseball that I didn't even know you played that many games in a season.
165 games a year.
Wow,
I'm sorry that I know that.
that's intense.
A year? Don't they not even play for the whole year, right?
Right, it's just part of the year.
So they're
165
playing, like,
that's
one
not
every, like, a
including
couple
that's not
days?
including playoff
Every day?
baseball, spring training. It's not including any of that. It's just the regular season.
Or like right now this week is starting All-Star game.
Yeah, All-Star
Once
game.
they
doesn't
get
count.
into it, do they just play like a game every day? Like, how do they even... it's like
Sometimes.
every-
Sometimes
Sometimes they
doubleheaders.
get days off. Like if they're tired, they'll like rest somebody. But yeah, I mean, you're realistically, you're probably talking about a good player playing like 130 games in a season.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Now you know.
Yep.
So anyway, thanks for the weather report. We appreciate that. It was, I will add to that, it was very nice today, especially given the last 2 weeks that we were at LARP was just like unbearably hot.
Mm-hmm.
Today was like nice fighting weather, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be overcast all day, but then that kind of ended, but it still was not that hot.
No, it was.
compared to
I mean,
the other days,
81 was the high, as opposed to 2 weeks ago. People were losing their cool because the heat index was over 100.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we only went through a case and a half of water today instead of like 3 cases or 4 cases.
That's
or
still a
whatever
lot of
was,
water.
so-
It is.
But thankfully, we have people donating said water.
Mhm.
It's not costing Phlarp, so that makes me happy.
Well, and people are actually drinking it, not just dropping like flies.
True.
Fair. Because flies do drop, according to the saying. Especially when I hit them with a fly swatter. Don't come after me, PETA.
Are we already into Daveen's corner, or what's
We-
going on with that?
You just say the word and we're there.
I think it's time for
Daveen's Corner! All right, let me get my wizard's tablet here.
Thank you.
Okay. First joke. What's the difference between a hippo and a zippo?
I don't know.
I don't know.
One is really heavy. The other is a little lighter.
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Do you want to hear a construction joke?
Sure.
Actually, never mind. I'm still working on it.
Wait. Do you have to explain that to me?
Do I need to explain that joke
No,
to you?
I get that one.
Okay. Last one for the day. What do Alexander the Great and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
I don't know what.
Say middle name.
Okay.
And that was
Daveen's
Daveen's Corner.
Nice.
Thanks.
That was excellent.
Nice
Indeed.
pun there.
Excellent.
Is that your big word for the day? Excellent.
Sure.
Right on. So where do you want to start? Recap?
Yeah, I guess a recap.
Let's recap it.
There was some stuff sent to our Marshall's chat. So if anyone wants to take part in this, that's in the chat, I suppose.
Not me.
Not you,
Not you.
punk. You want to help me read? You can help me read.
Okay. I'll just correct all you guys when you're wrong.
Oh. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Fair enough. Do you who wants to take a hold on this?
So I know that it started out with some dude showing up in town and killing the
Oh.
magistrate.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more to that. So, do you want to talk about that? Do we want to talk about that on
Do
the?
we
Sure.
want
I mean,
to?
that's part of that. I guess that would be part of the recap.
So, I'm gonna butcher the name. Does anybody else remember the name real well?
Valnier
Valnier.
Greystone.
Oh, it's Greystone. I didn't even know he had a last name.
Mhm.
So this guy shows up today, just kills North, right in the middle of town, basically.
Mhm.
And I didn't know what to do, so I pulled my little knife that I had on me, and I charged him. He killed me too, I guess, because I don't remember anything else.
I
Well,
got
I do.
because
because-
suckered from behind.
I mean, it's been a while since North has felt the compulsion to drink blood, but for
Did you
those that
drink
don't
some blood
know,
today?
Yes, some.
Whose blood?
Well, your blood,
What?
actually. Yeah,
What?
I was
Well-
able to crawl over to your corpse and revive myself with what was like I was kind of feral, but once I revived myself with your blood, and then I got a drink of your blood as well,
Wow.
Eric.
I
the
feel
Red.
so violated.
Yeah.
And I was able to get a leg out of that, so I hopped over and I exiled him.
Wow.
You got a leg.
Yep.
You just got a leg.
Yeah, I was able to cure a leg.
Am I like at risk of turning?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
What?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure I can't. So
Oh, okay.
let's just assume I can't for some reason or another.
But you know what happens when you assume?
You turn into a vampire.
Yep.
I'll start looking for signs throughout the week. But yeah, that was kind of crazy. So, and then I'll tell you this. During Last Man Standing, I killed Valnier. I made it a mission to kill Valnier.
And you did.
I did. And then we spoke because apparently he can speak to people from the dead. And he
What did he
told
say?
me that he didn't come out and say he had a hand in Rand's death, Lord Rand, because Lord Rand died, if you didn't see that this week. Huge news.
Yeah.
But he did say to me specifically that Lord Rand is gone, and he knows for a fact he's not coming back, which leads me to believe that he had something to do with it.
He got a leg, but apparently Valnir had a hand in it.
Nice.
Not bad. Not bad. But yeah, I mean, so this Valnir guy seems like he might be kind of bad news. And
Yeah,
it
and
seems like
before he
he's
killed
already
me-
recruiting people.
And before he killed me, he said, or before he attempted to kill me because I was able to revive myself.
right.
but he did say, Ragnarok is upon you, I think.
Oh, wow. So he's the writer.
I guess he was revealed as the writer, right?
Holy
Isn't that
smokes.
not what?
Lots of big news here.
And I will say, there was a whole bunch of people that went in campaign after he did that.
Yeah.
We played campaign for like the first.
Probably 30, 40 minutes
Yeah,
or
people were
something.
just going in campaign and just killing each other over and over because I think they were just trying to go out there and mess with or kill Valnir. So.
Right. It does seem like this overwhelming sense of evil is upon us.
Yes.
And as a town, we're going to have to rally together to have any kind of chance of keeping it at bay. But
I mean,
that was a thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
this dude is just.
I mean, the writer did say that we would lose a great hero, so it's hard to not believe that they
Had a hand in it.
had something to do with it. Yeah.
True.
So I will tell you this, too, because I feel like this is important. I went and questioned the people that were there. Because the story goes, that's
We.
true,
We questioned.
me and Eric the Red went around and asked the members of Black Rose that were there because allegedly this happened during a training sparring between Heston Iverson and Lord Rand Rainwalker, and apparently he was killed via Heston's axe. But there were reports that it was training and that Heston basically lost his cool and went into some kind of
Blind rage.
And my thought is that maybe it wasn't all him, that maybe somebody had gotten to his head somehow. And I think Valnir may have been the reason. But that's all I've come up with. I'll continue to investigate,
Maybe some magic is afoot.
perhaps. But yeah,
Leg,
perhaps.
hand, foot,
Head.
body.
Fair enough.
Bam.
What are we doing here?
Nobody really
We're
knows.
naming body parts. What are you doing here?
Would you like to read some of this, the Last Man Standing stuff, maybe?
Sure. So for Last Man Standing today, in third place we had Raven Shadow Weaver.
Mhm.
In second place was Pius, and in first place was Heston Iverson.
Congratulations to those three fighters.
Little sus, huh?
Well, they have a good clan. That's all right. There was some sus stuff that went on during that Last Man Standing, but I don't think it had anything to do with the three of them. So, was there role play experience given for that as well? You
There
just
was.
you could just name the people that got the experience.
Bolvar and Magnus.
And congratulations to those two as well. That just basically means that they went above and beyond in some way to give us really good role play. Whether that, and of course, the people that gave them that role play is not here, but whether that be a really cool role play death or kill or whatever it was, we're not sure. But congratulations to those people as well.
Congratulations.
You want to go next?
Sure. And then we played an Assassin's Creed, which we haven't played in a little while, and it was pretty cool.
What was that?
I thought it went all right.
Oh, okay. No, I thought it was fun.
this-
Once we figured it out, because
This-
what had happened? There was a duplicate name. Is that what it was?
Because one of our marshals before had created cards for every player that plays. So with this game, basically everybody gets a card out of a hat. You're supposed to kill the person on the card in order to eliminate them entirely. If you end up with your own and somebody kills you and loots you, then you are eliminated. And then a marshal Valkyrie had went and created a card for every person that even existed that was even playing at one point. And I didn't think Bolvar was in that group of people. So we ended up making a second one, or having Bolvar make a second one. And then, so there was two of those. So in the beginning, it was a little confusing because we had an extra badge at the end of it when we were handing out badges to give as contracts or whatever. But then we were able to figure it out. So, and there was a couple people that quit after they started or something, or they were going to start and then they didn't. But
Right. There was a one person.
we were able to
So that was
eliminate-
one of the names, and then the other one was the duplicate name, which we
Right.
assumed that there was a duplicate name, and that's what had happened. So,
Right. And it had been a while since we set that one up, so it did take a minute. But once we got going, I thought that game played out pretty interestingly. So I don't know. I guess you played that one, right?
Yeah, I mean, so we can read the places, but
Oh yeah. So obviously you played that one. So the winner or third place was Arno, second place was Pius, and the winner was Daveen Alwyn.
and they ended up flip-flopping those, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure Arno actually came in second place on that one.
Okay.
And Pius came in third via discussion that they had.
Okay.
And I won that game. And I can tell you a little bit of what my strategy was during that game if you're interested in hearing it.
Sure.
So my first thing was I was just going, I wasn't messing with nobody except for whoever my contract was. And I was marching at them the entire time. Like I didn't hide who it was. It was me and I'm coming for you. So I took out a couple people like that. The second person that I happened to take out had my card. And I was like, well, there's way too many people left in the game right now for me to have my own card. So I picked out somebody like you had told people to do that I knew was not able to kill me.
Right.
And I went and I killed him specifically to trade him cards because I wanted him to have my card. Then there was another player that was very capable of killing me that was hunting him down. And so I just kept interrupting his, like he would kill him, but I wouldn't let him loot him
In order to keep your card.
in order
on
to
that
make
guy.
sure that that card stayed with the person I wanted to have it. And then it got too taxing. I was like, I can't do this. So I had to go get my card back, but I waited till there was like 6 people left. And I was like, I'm pretty confident if I take my own card back at this point, I will be there at the end because no one will have a contract on me.
So they won't come after you.
Right. So I waited till there was roughly 6 or 7 people, however many there was. I went and took my card back, and I just held my card until the end of the game, knowing no one was going to come for me because I didn't have my contract. And it worked out.
I think at the end of the game, though, all 3 of you guys had your own card.
Well, and that's going to happen, whenever you get to like the
Inherently,
final,
Right.
however many people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it went pretty well, and it worked out exactly like I expected it to. So if you're listening to this podcast and we play Assassin's Creed again, know that that strategy worked for me. It may or may not work for you, but that's what I did. So
It's a viable option.
I would also add, too, that game works a lot smoother and, like, getting everything set up if you already have your own badge and the marshals don't have to make one for you.
True.
So if you don't have a badge, I would suggest doing what you need to get one.
right on. Yeah, here you
And
go.
also, I'd like to just throw this out there. For those that don't know, that game was created basically by ChatGPT, like literally. Like, I went on there and fed our rules in and stuff and asked it to create a game. Now, granted, I had to go through like 20 games or something or more that we already had. Like, I kept coming up with ideas of games that we basically had already figured out. But that was one that was a little bit more unique that it came up with, and I just think it's like really interesting.
It's interesting. It's just the setup is kind of a pain
It is.
when you have a bunch of people that don't have badges. So if you're listening to this and you don't have a badge, get one. Pay for
Right.
gold. Less than $4 a week. Come on.
But you can also purchase one even if you don't have gold, correct?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think I just charged like $1 or something for a badge.
$1, people.
A buck.
$1.
I have a question for you.
I might have an answer.
Okay, so I was kind of watching Pius and
Sus.
you,
Just kidding.
Sus, and he kept blood packing you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have his card?
Yeah, and he had mine.
I knew it. Like we were sitting over there talking. I was like, they have each other's.
What's
Yeah.
funny is at some point during the game, there wasn't that many people left, and Pius was dead, and I had an opportunity to loot him. I didn't know he had his own card, and someone was like, he had his own card, and I was like, okay, well, I didn't want him to have my card. So, like, I specifically didn't loot him because at that point of the game, I had already gotten my own card. But in
you could have
hindsight, I
eluded-
could have eliminated
Yeah.
him by just looting him. No one was going to stop me.
And then your card would have
Would've
still
just stayed with
you.
me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that he had his own card. Otherwise, I would have eliminated him at that point.
That's funny.
But you know what? That's how the game's played. You don't actually know some of these things, and he placed. So,
he did good. He did good.
how does it feel to be blood packed? Do you feel like powerless when it happens?
You get creaky bones.
Yeah. I don't think I'd like that.
Is the arthritis set in really bad?
I didn't hear any click clacking out of you
I
today.
didn't either.
So that's
Sorry.
kind of disappointing.
Well,
is.
I didn't get roleplay XP because I didn't roleplay.
I can't
Yeah,
say you
you
didn't
took a
roleplay,
page
but you
from,
certainly didn't click clack. Ajah got
Yeah.
roleplay last week for his awesome click clack. Actually,
Yeah.
it's not what he did, but he did a real good job as the skeleton last week.
He did. He did really well.
I mean, there were a few times though that my time just ran out and I had to just like fall over and die. I was just standing there and I'm like, ooh, and just fall over
Why did he loot you when that happened? What is there's just other people
because
around,
somebody else was around. Yeah.
and they were just interrupting you guys?
Yeah,
each
and
other.
then it was like I would res and I'm like trying to sneak up behind him and like take opportunities of other people like messing with him because I can't take him on my own. Like I'm not, we've both been involved for, around the same amount of time, but like he's a better fighter than I am.
That's fair. He does have a big shield.
Involved
Shields
in
are-
Phlarp, not with each other.
Hey! I said nothing.
But he's just he fights more than I do, so I can.
And to be fair, right now shields are a pain to get around. Eventually, they won't be. Everyone will have a ability. I won't even carry a shield at some point. Forget that shield.
Well, I really need to work on actually picking my abilities for my level because I've just saved my points.
Oh, let me pick your abilities.
No,
I'll make you good.
I don't believe you.
You should. But anyway, so we had a comedy contest after that. Anybody want to talk about that?
Yeah, I was the funniest. I mean, I didn't place, but
So you clearly weren't the funniest.
I wasn't.
North didn't even understand your joke.
He still
Listen.
doesn't.
His IQ is
It's
not
like-
the problem with my joke, okay?
The joke is so bad, it's not funny. That even if you get it, it's just not funny. I get it.
It's okay. So anyway, at the contest we had.
Let's go from third to first.
I did that on the last one, didn't I?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, third place was Rose,
And congratulations to Rose the Heifer. Third place
And
in the
now-
comedy contest.
Mm-hmm.
Just to preface here, the jokes that they actually told will be on the Patreon in the form of a video. So look for that if you're not part of our Patreon. Remember, you can sign up for
$5.
$5 a month, not $3. I will re-record that at some point. I still have not done that.
Wow.
He
So,
said that for like
I'm-
the last 3 weeks in
At
a row.
least
I'm-
3 weeks.
I'm,
It's
I'm
okay.
running behind.
It happens. It's
Yeah.
all right. We know you got a lot to do.
And whenever you watch that, you can also put your own vote in the comments because
Yeah.
maybe you disagree with how it went. Maybe
True.
you think
You
Mercer
still aren't
Stitch
going to
is
place.
really funny.
No, that joke was putrid.
So anyway, Rose got third place,
Right.
and Wilhelm got second place,
Congratulations, Wilhelm, for second place.
and first place went to Trinity.
And shout out to Trinity.
Shout out to our video editor, Trinity.
Well, I'm saying shout out because he won the comedy contest. Let's not put words in my mouth.
I mean, what you can do? Put another bunny over my face?
Probably.
What's great is that Trinity really didn't. He wasn't into it at first, and I was like, "Well, Wilhelm's gonna win by default if other people don't sign up." And he's like, "Okay, I'll do it."
I actually thought his jokes were funny today.
Yeah.
So I actually thought Wilhelm's jokes were funny too. Wilhelm would have received my second place vote, so I'm glad he got second place. And Rose was funny too. I mean, obviously they all placed. So
Yeah.
the Oreo joke was great.
True.
Yeah, I liked Rose's jokes too, and they followed
Well-
the PG rules.
Wilhelm's jokes were really funny, but I will say, personally, I didn't find him quite as funny only because me and Isaac were looking up puns the other day about medieval jokes, and like there were so many about necromancer.
Mm-hmm.
That pun was used like tons of times, and then when he said that, Isaac looked at me. We're like both like necromancer, like oh my gosh, that's the one that we like read billions of or whatever. But of course, that's because I was just looking at those.
Right,
So.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fair. If you
But
if
it's
you
still
see a
funny,
joke,
so-
like sometimes if hearing the joke that you already know is not nearly as funny.
Mhm.
So, and honestly, that's why I really struggle to find jokes some weeks because I'm like, they probably heard this one. They've probably heard this
Right.
one. So,
So are vampires considered necromancers?
There was jokes about that, yeah, in the thing that I was saying there that I was reading.
I think they suck.
I agree.
Anyway,
Vampires are the jokes.
whatever you want, man.
And to add to that, when after I got killed by what's his name again?
Valnir.
Valnir. This is the first time that I used that ability in a really long time. I was also taking double damage when I was in the sun, and I thought about it. From now on, I'll try to make sure that I'm doing that. Like, vampires are supposed to take double damage in the sun. Meaning, if I can look down and see my shadow,
Like a
it's another
groundhog?
It's another 6 months of winter. Then I take double damage. But I also have the ability now, which when vampires get released fully, they'll have this ability too. After you die as a vampire, before your maximum bleed out time ends, you can start crawling. When you start crawling, you can only do it for your minimum bleed out time, but you have that much time to get to a corpse. If you get to a corpse, you can drain its blood. It's a 3-second cast, and then you get like a portion of your body healed, and your torso area counts as a portion. So of course I started with the torso area, and I was just a potato basically. But then that's why I just got a leg off. Whenever I drained you.
I'm just going to say this because I know you're in the middle of saying something, but the way you just made potato sound so negative, it upsets me because potatoes are wonderful.
That's true. They are the
And
wonder
so
food.
don't make them sound so negative. You
Okay,
wish you were a potato.
I was just like an awesome potato after I.
Yeah, there you go. That's better.
It was a golden yellow potato.
Oh, yeah, like the golden russets. Oh,
Yeah.
those are good.
I like the Yukons. Those are good
The
too.
Yukon Golds are good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Just the only downside to that is if a Death Knight runs by and they're like, "I dubbed you the Black Knight real fast," then hey, I'm in big trouble then. But I can make
like
it to
the
one more
smashed
corpse.
Potatoes.
don't start this. Don't do it. They're just those are vile.
They are amazing.
I don't want peel in my mat. I'm not starting this. I'm not doing it. Talk your talk. I'm staying quiet on
It's
this.
healthier to put
About
the
time.
peeling in
It's
there.
healthier to put a whole stick of butter in it. How about that?
And don't forget the sour cream.
So we had one more event today, the Pandemic Panic,
True.
Oh yeah.
which was interesting,
Yes, it was pretty interesting.
To say the least.
or to say the most.
Which is basically,
Nonetheless.
for the listeners that aren't sure or don't know, Pandemic Panic is basically like a zombies game. They have the heroes only have to last so long. They're in the center. The zombies keep infinitely rezzing the heroes. If the zombie kills a hero, the hero becomes a zombie. And then the surviving heroes after a certain amount of time are the ones that get bonus XP. So for round one,
To be fair, it'd be easier to talk about who failed in that one, and that would be Daveen failed as a zombie and Squishy failed.
did you guys get anybody?
I mean,
There
a
was a
couple
few, right?
people, but like it
Yeah,
was
there was a
tough.
few.
I mean, 2 starting, 3 didn't get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so me and Squishy really had no chance at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and part of that was, I'll take the blame for part of that because we probably should have just had 3 people.
And it's
first
okay.
time.
We learned from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
cry about not getting XP over it. Clearly, a lot of people did. So,
I do.
and we could talk about that. But
I do think 3 worked out better, like, because I was on the hero side both times, and I never got turned into a zombie. I take that back.
Flex.
I got hit in the back, like, right as time was being called on the second game. But the first
Oh yeah,
game,
you're not on that second winners.
Liar.
So I didn't, I didn't actually turn into a zombie because I didn't have a chance to make it to the edge before time was called. But the first game, like, it was really off because I pretty much just stood in the middle. Like, I think I only killed 1 zombie the whole time. It wasn't really that hard.
Thanks. I mean, to be fair, I like walked out there as the zombie, and I'm faced with a wall of like 8 people, including 2 spears, and I was like,
Yeah.
I can do nothing here. Like,
It was just the numbers were off with how many people that we had.
yeah,
To
we
only
probably
have
need a
2
third, but that's
zombies.
okay.
Nonetheless.
Nonetheless, for round 1, these were the people that survived the wave of zombie infestation. We had Odin, Belnar, Magnus, Joseph, Wilhelm, Raven, Reese, Heston, Bolvar, Mercer, Xander, Arno, Trinity, Aragon, Pius, and Valnir. And then it looks like they gave roleplay experience to Grim on that one. And I believe I heard someone say the reason is I guess when he got turned into a zombie, he was like crawling off the battlefield, like as if he was getting taken by the zombie, which was kind of cool. So I think
Nice.
that's why he got roleplay experience for that.
Is he the one with like curly hair?
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, he read his backstory to North and I today, and I was actually somewhat impressed with it. I thought it was pretty good. Very tragic, but pretty good. And he was like embarrassed to read it, and I'm like, I don't get why. This is better than 90% of the backstories I've heard.
I'm kind of sad that I missed that. I always miss people reading
Well,
their backstories.
he was real weird about it. Though, like, not weird. He's shy, and he was just like, I don't want to read in front of a bunch of people. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, I could probably get it to where it's just me and North.
That makes sense.
So we like went specifically to like the end of the tavern on the other side where we don't normally do it and whatever. But it was good.
Are you gonna put it in the book though?
Yeah, I think so. Right?
In what book? What are you
The
talking
lore
about?
book.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just read it when you put it in there.
And also, when somebody gets gold, it takes me a while because I'm,
One
behind
man.
on everything.
You're
or
one
whatever.
man.
But
Because you're late for life.
but eventually I get.
Oof.
I get their. The intention is to put their backstory up on the website too once you get gold, so you can read it there too if he gets gold. I guess.
Yeah, and I've been kind of waiting for that. I sent him a backstory a long time ago for that. I got a picture, got the whole 9 yards, and I'm still not on there. Sad. 14-page backstory.
Not worthy.
I got to read it first.
And you wonder.
I promise I will.
Yeah.
Right after I watch that movie.
Right after you watch that movie you were supposed to watch 6 months ago.
And you wonder why he questions if you're his friend.
Yeah. He doesn't
Is
even
that why
think about me during the week.
Hey, I said I do. I look over at that movie sitting there and I think, God, that movie sucks.
It's a good movie. Anyway.
Well, when I can stay awake for it, I'll watch it.
I watched Kung Fu Hustle for you.
Dude, Kung Fu Hustle is good.
This movie is
Okay.
better than that movie.
Okay.
Agree to disagree, but nonetheless, I watched Kung Fu Hustle.
True.
The week
you got me
you
there.
assigned me to watch it. Anyway, round 2 of Pandemic Panic. There were a lot less survivors. We had 3 starting zombies for that one, which was a more appropriate number, I think, and decent zombies too. That's saying something about myself, but the survivors for that game, it looks like it was Lord Reese, Aragon, Dust, Daveen, and Magnus. And then roleplay experience was given to Arno.
For his zombie? Was he?
Is that what? Dude, he was going
yeah.
crazy. He would coming out, and I was seeing like him flex his arms, and he had like veins popping out of his arms and stuff.
He was making crazy faces,
did
and
it-
like his eyes were all
Yeah,
tugged out of his
It's
face.
pretty crazy.
Did he ever get 1 kill?
I don't know.
I know he
He was
messed
just,
up
like,
Wilhelm a
screaming
little
right
bit
in
at
the-
some
right
point,
in
but I
there.
think he just like hit his
Yeah,
arms and
there-
stuff.
There was a few. I think he did get a few actually.
He probably did.
Yeah, because he started getting to where he was just like running in there, like he wasn't. He
Just,
just
like, running
charged
into the
in,
middle.
You know?
I think at some point they were like, okay, we're not getting anywhere with this. We're gonna. I mean, the creepers were a problem in that second
Yeah, I
game.
was going to talk about that a little
Maybe
bit.
we should have utilized that a little bit more in the first one, but like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like we had the people to do it. We didn't get more than a couple people out until there was like a minute left.
Yeah.
It was just rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, the creeper thing was kind of interesting. And I will say too, though, I was never anywhere near the creeper. So I saw a creeper getting ready. I like skirted to the outskirts because I didn't want nothing to do with it. But I do think that there were some people probably getting hit with packets that did not take their hits. I didn't see anyone
Some of that-
specifically because it's hard to see when it's like the spread thing. But I'm sure some of those packets had to have hit people.
Yeah, and you were saying that some of that was that they were really light. They were donated packets, so I just grabbed the 5 I had. I didn't even have 6. They're supposed to be able to throw 6. And so that could have been part of the problem. But
Yeah, they
And
were really light, and I had
I
someone
think that-
tell me that they had hit me in the back, and I honestly didn't feel anything. So I think we're gonna try to get some stuff to make different ones.
Like heavier packets for it.
Yeah.
And then I think what would be a good idea, I don't know what you guys think about this, but I think it'd be a cool idea to have a limited amount of creepers. So like, you know how we had the res points around the corners, make it to where, you're going to get 4 total creepers for the whole game. You go to one of the corners, you get your 6 packets, go out there and boom, blow up. And then, once they're out there, they're just out there instead of, because I was collecting them. I was going out there and collecting the packets after they'd throw them and then bringing them all back so that they could do it again.
Yeah, I like that idea. And I think it also, you would start to pay attention to who has success as a creeper and who doesn't, because I'm not going to say any names, but there was one guy who creepered twice, and I don't think he hit anybody. And I really legitimately watched those, and I'm like, I think he just whiffed twice.
I know that those things are really light because I picked them up once, and they're really light. And I was watching one of these zombies, just throwing them, and I'm like, how did he like miss every
Yeah,
single
because
body?
he'd throw like a whole group off in it.
Yeah.
Because how many packets are there? 5?
There was 5,
There
but
was
there's
5.
supposed to be 6. But I also told them you don't have to throw any. You can do as many as you want as long as you have 2 people sit out for you. You could just take 1 or 2. What I was saying is you could just take 2. That way you could aim them.
Yeah, but at
But I
that
don't
point, I'm
know.
taking 6.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Near the end, Valnir, I guess, became an infected creeper. And he just went boom and blew up. And I guess that kind of ballooned a little bit, but I don't think it killed him all the way. But it was right near the end.
Yeah, and you can
I don't
ask
know if that actually
Valnir
hit
about this
anybody,
too.
though.
This is actually kind of crazy. So during that last game, excuse me, during that last game of Pandemic Panic, I hear time. I hear somebody yell time, and then I felt my back go pop. Like I felt it, like almost boom boom.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna take the death, even though I thought I was safe. And I looked back, and it was Valnir. Like, don't take that. It was after the word time. But I mean, I was that close to being dead. That close.
Yep.
So it was kind of funny because you said you got stabbed right before, and I got stabbed right after.
Yeah.
Mm. And something we tried to do with that one is we let the hero, or another thing we were trying to do with that is let the heroes use their abilities. That's something we don't usually do. I'm not sure if we made an exception for an ability or not. We made an exception for the ability Blood Pact because that would have been like confusing basically to do to the zombies. But eventually, what I'd like to do is make it to where, as long as the numbers are even, so like make it to where there's like an even amount of like make sure, basically that it isn't overbalanced, but make it to where the Shadow Priests specifically
And Death Knights.
and Death Knights are on the side of the zombies and they have infinite reses, just like a zombie does.
Wow.
Um,
That'd be pretty wild.
but we have to get enough numbers for that to
Right.
be
for that to work.
yes.
Because we
but
still want, what was it, a 10-to-1? Is that the goal?
yeah, that was the original formula for the zombies.
Okay. Which is kind of fair if the
Mhm.
zombies have infinite lives. So
How many people did we have today?
I saw 35 to
35 to 40,
40
yeah.
is what was written down.
Which sounded about right. So, and
Do,
Yeah,
do we
they-
want to do this one on?
just to explain a little bit.
I-
Yeah, sure, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Just to explain a little bit, the creeper zombies too also broke weapons. That's why it was a more important thing for the creeper
and
zombies.
shields, which
Yeah, shields,
because I
weapons,
feel like
whatever.
that's important because shields are a big part of Pandemic Panic.
Especially of that game, right?
Right.
So I think it was cool to have that element in there. So I think the more we can add those elements, if we get used to playing it that way, I think it would actually be a more interesting game to be able to allow them to use their abilities. And, you know, if we could figure out how to make sure that, you know,
Sure.
it's still kind of balanced.
And if they've chosen Death Knight or, well, what's the other one?
Shadow Priest.
Shadow Priest, then clearly they are interested in being of dark in nature.
Yeah, and their abilities would be the correct kind of abilities that would benefit like undead stuff and the like if like with Death Knights, for example, we were saying Blood Pact. You could just let Blood Pact work like normal.
Right.
Like whenever they kill a hero, they become
a
skeleton for a
right.
little while, and then they die and become a zombie again.
Yeah, that would work.
You know,
That makes sense if they're on the zombie side, but if they start out on the hero side, it gets confusing.
That's
I will
what I was
say
saying.
this-
They would be on the
They would
That
just
zombies.
automatically be on the zombie side.
Blood Pact is
Yeah.
a Death Knight ability.
yes.
My question is then, for the couple of Death Knights that are out there, why am I not just hearing Blood Pact, Blood Pact, Blood Pact every time they're swinging their sword?
Because they're saying it really low.
Are they?
The one,
Every time I get killed by one, they say it.
they say it just loud enough to. Are they saying it loud enough for just you to hear, or are they saying it for everyone?
I mean, I would say probably a maybe 10 to 15 foot radius. Not super loud, but loud enough I can hear you.
I mean, to be fair, any louder than that would be kind of annoying. So that's fair, I think.
Yeah.
But I like the thought process of getting Death Knights and the Shadow Priests involved in the darker side of.
And then also makes your power players for that game your holy priests and your holy paladins.
yeah, because turn
or
undead and
divine
stuff are
paladins.
like
Yes,
abilities that
'cause
can be
they'll
used.
be able to do a bunch of crazy stuff to them. That
Mhm.
you know we would be like, oh my gosh, you've got to fight the Death Knight or whatever because you're like our power player basically for this game.
I'll tell you this, because this is something that interests me to a certain extent, is I really want to see us get to the point to where Circle of Protections can be used during Pandemic Panic. Like, because I don't know how that'll work exactly, but if I have a circle of melee protection, like that protects me against everything that's not a creeper, basically. Like you have to get a creeper out now in order to get me.
True.
Yeah, but that creeper also knows that, so and you can't really move
Well,
your circle.
No, but you can move out of the circle. Of course, I think it breaks it. I don't know exactly how that works, but we would have to play test it. But my whole point is that we've never gotten to a point where like high enough level abilities have been used
To
from
see
the
how they
Holy
play
Paladin
out.
or the Holy
Right.
Priest or whatever, because I think that could be fun.
Mm-hmm. True. I agree.
So, you guys about ready for the suggestion box?
Suggestions.
Yeah. Sure.
You want to start? I'll save this
Yep.
one for last because I think it's going to be kind of a divisive topic. So let's see what I have here. What'd you bless me with, Eric?
Okay. Just gonna read a different one. Maybe special. This one says maybe special zombies should be creeper or infected. Mixing both just seems a little busted. I mean, I would maybe agree with that if the zombies had won, but
Yeah.
it didn't seem to make much of a difference considering they didn't even win. So, and plus to do that, you have to have 4 people set out for you. So I think that's pretty accurate. Even if they just run in and explode, if you're going to come out as a special zombie based on that person that did the creeper exploding, you have to wait till they get back across the line.
You?
So I think there are cons to it.
I agree that we shouldn't change it right now. I think it's a fun dynamic to the game, and once heroes start to get abilities to match those abilities of the zombies, like they're going to be fine. So I don't think it's that busted. Plus, how many people do you need to sit out for that? At least 2, right? You get to for a creeper and infected.
Total of 4, actually.
Yeah,
that's
I
what I was
mean,
saying.
that's
You
a
gotta
lot
have
of
4
people.
That's a
sit
lot.
out.
So I disagree with. I mean, I appreciate the feedback. We always
Mhm.
appreciate the feedback. Feel free to talk in the comments about this if you disagree with us. But I don't think it's too busted. I think it's pretty fair. And the heroes won both times tonight. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Like maybe if the zombies were walking away with the win every time because of that,
Right.
as some kind of thing, then I mean, like I'm not opposed to changing that, but I think right now, I think it probably could stay the way it is and it'd be fine.
Okay, I have today is a great day and I had a lot of fun. Keep up the good work. Make the hole bigger. I love Phlarp, my favorite family.
Nice.
can you read it again? Because I missed it because I was distracted
Yeah,
by Mercer.
way to pay attention there, homie. Today is a great day and
Okay.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
Make the hole bigger.
Yeah.
I love Phlarp,
All
my
right.
favorite family.
Pin it up.
Pin it up.
Make the hole bigger.
That's a wall one.
I have very upset Daveen wasn't in the comedy contest. The Jester.
The Jester posted that. Interesting.
Was the
I'm
Jester
very
not
upset
in
the Jester wasn't in the comedy.
Yeah, what the
So
hell?
you're calling me out? Who's the Jester?
The Jester called you out, but they didn't want to show up.
Yeah.
You don't know that they weren't.
I
You don't
said
really
that,
know
baby.
who it
he
is.
said the same thing. Who would it have been out of the 5? Trinity?
If the Jester was either the 4th or 5th person, then that's still not
Listen,
good.
there was one
because-
person that when I was like, "Are you doing the comedy contest?" They're like, "I'm in there, gung ho." I had to like drag other people.
So are
into
you
it.
saying that you think the Jester was that person?
I'm thinking maybe.
Oh, wow. So we may have a Jester reveal next week. Stay tuned.
A Jester reveal?
I
I've
mean,
never
I'm
seen
pointing
one of
fingers.
those.
I'm pointing fingers.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
You pointed a finger.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yep.
This one's something. You will only see me when the sun doesn't shine. I am coming for Darvishan. Watch out. Signed, Lucifer. Okay.
Whoa.
Good thing.
Alrighty then.
Wow.
It's a
Okay.
good thing we're done at 5.
Yeah, no kidding. The sun should be out and nor should take double damage.
Okay, this one says, and I agree with it. It says, "Congratulations, Lady Elizabeth."
Agreed. We did have, and
A
I don't know how we
swearing in,
didn't
yeah.
think about
True.
saying that today, but we did have another person become a lord today or a lady, and shout out to Lady Elizabeth. That makes 7 clans.
7
Yeah.
clans.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Which you had a question about that too, because there is a rule about only taking 6 people from a clan into an event. I'm not going to necessarily enforce that rule, depending on the the event itself. So like I'm okay with 7 people going in as a team, depending on how imbalanced it is for numbers, basically.
Sure.
Right.
That makes sense.
And then that would be contingent on like the clan leader deciding whoever is the people he's not going to allow on his team for that thing, but they may have to be on a mercenaries team or something.
So, counter question, what's the cap then?
The overall cap is 7.
Okay.
If we go into an event,
So, hold on.
the most I would
I'm
let
confused.
You, go ahead.
I understand it's 7 right now. Let's say another clan pops up. Does it turn to 8?
Yes.
What if another clan pops up?
No.
Does it turn to 9? So 8's
Nope.
the cap.
Yep.
So it's a lord plus 7 members if there were 8 clans.
Yes.
Right now it's a lord plus 6 members because there's 7 clans.
Yes. And
Okay.
even if it goes down, I won't reduce that maximum.
Well, that would be kind of
Yeah.
crappy to do.
Right.
So I agree.
Counterintuitive.
Yeah, that member number 7, you better hang on to it while you can because you're going to lose it. No, I'm kidding.
Can I use that one as a
I
big
mean,
word?
That could be your big word. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
What was that? I missed it.
Counterintuitive.
Oh,
I think I used it in the correct way.
You
but
probably did.
You know what?
can
it's
you spell
me.
it? I'm kidding, I'm
Counterintuitive.
Stop. That's probably wrong. But continue on.
Really enjoyed the
That's probably right, I think.
Come
it
on.
was. It was spelled right. RIGHT. Really enjoyed the extended roleplay today. Big congratulations to Lady Elizabeth. I look forward to working with your clan in the future. Wilhelm.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, wow,
So
you
he's
got a name
already
on it,
trying
huh?
to make alliances. That's smart. Can I
Alliance.
see that?
Yes, here you go.
Do we remember what the name of her clan is?
Dragonheart.
Okay, Dragonheart.
And
I
each
just
of
wanted
them,
to see the handwriting,
when
honestly.
they swore in, they each had like a
A little dragon
little
on him.
dragon on them.
I don't know if you noticed that detail or not, but I certainly did.
I did.
I think there was like 4 or 5 dragons.
No.
Yeah,
Do we
that's
match in
also why I
handwriting?
wanted to see it. That is also why I wanted to see that.
Interesting.
Oh, you have another one.
I do.
Wait, where's the other one?
I have some too. Do you want me to go
Let me
with
see
more?
that. Yeah. You guys keep going. I need to see
This one
stuff.
says we should play more events a day. We only played 3 different games today. I agree. The intention is only to really only play though 4, which is 1 an hour. So it's not like we were that far off. Although I think it is best to try to
Maybe.
get
It's close.
4 games played
I don't know.
instead of 3. You guys don't care, do you?
No, I agree that we need to play more games, but we had a swear in today. We had a comedy contest that we don't normally do that took up some time.
So
we
that
had
really
like
that'd be
40 minutes of campaign time. Like I don't disagree. I want to play more games too, but there's also so much time that we're there, and we'll do our best. I mean,
Right.
I don't know what else to say other than that. We agree. I agree that we should have played more games. Just didn't happen today.
Yeah.
Well, and I think whenever everybody was out in campaign and like doing stuff, like there were very few people left in the tavern. I feel like everybody was having a good
It would-
time, like doing
Like it would be
what they were
counterintuitive
doing.
to call an event at that time anyway, because
Yeah,
they
like
were
it seemed like
content doing
everybody
what
was
they were doing.
enjoying
Yeah.
themselves. Yeah.
He just tried to steal your thunder.
See, I use a big word, and because I thought it and said it, and now he has to piggyback off of it as if he.
It's
Stop
okay.
stealing my
it's
thoughts,
okay.
bro.
I wish my brain was as big as yours, bro.
It's because
Are you
he's a
up?
freaking vampire. No, it's Mercer.
Come on, Mercer.
Open campaign was a lot of fun today.
Agreed. 100% agree.
And I know we kind of went past this, but I was going to add to that about the 3 games played.
Yeah.
We did have a little bit of a conversation in the Marshall's chat about, or a suggestion basically, about lining up games to play. And I think that's kind of a good idea. I'm okay with working with it, but a lot of the times the day of, we have things like where we had the swearing in, we have different things that makes
Assassin's
it...
Creed took a long time to set up today.
Yeah.
That probably cost us a game.
Mhm.
And probably wouldn't have taken as long to set up if people were paying attention whenever you were reading the rules.
That's
Yeah.
fair too. I also don't think that had anything to do with the duplicate card or whatever, but like mistakes happen. We fixed
True.
it rather quickly considering, I think. But yeah, I agree.
Well, and I did have a few people ask me how to play after we got the
Oh,
game going.
goodness
So,
gracious.
yeah, that was it though. Is that
I'm up.
You're up.
we can't always do that, but I agree we need to make sure that we have at least something lined up for the next game that we're going to play before we ever really end the previous one or like close to it, so that at least we can start setting up for the next one. And whenever as soon as they get ready, we can be like, all right, we'll line up.
Right.
You know.
especially on a day like today because it wasn't too hot. We could have probably played back-to-back games at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But I just said that I agreed with like the previous card or whatever. I do want to preface this by saying I don't agree with this card. Now, of course, it's anonymous, so who knows who put it in there.
Okay.
But this says, I think Mercer was the funniest. Definitely not true. I mean, I appreciate whoever put this in there.
And I think I know who it was.
You never know, because it's anonymous.
Again, I
Did you put it in there yourself,
anonymous,
Mercer?
but
You
I
can't
think
vote for yourself.
It's not a vote. You're just putting your opinion out there.
I mean, that is my opinion, but I'm just glad somebody else agrees with me.
who did you bribe to put that in there?
It's funny.
I don't know how much we want to go into this. And I can't even remember. Oh. Okay, I know what this is. I think this is an after podcast conversation, so never mind on that.
Okay, fair enough.
It was like a reminder I put in there. This is a complicated one too, really. Although I will back them up and say that if somebody hits you with an ability and you don't understand how it works, by just hearing it, because it's like the first time you've ever been exposed to it, it's supposed to just kill you. And the reason I do that is to simplify the situation. Because if somebody has to walk up and try to explain to you how an ability works, there's a bunch of other stuff that transpires between the time you got hit with the ability and the time that you understand how the ability works. And during that time, like the people using the ability could have gotten killed. It just is really complicated. So if you get hit with something and you have to be like, well, what's that do? And you're being like basically crappy about it by not just immediately understanding what it does, or just being like, I'm dead, I guess, but what does that do? That would work a little bit better. Go to a marshal and say, well, what does this do? I just died because I didn't understand it. Technically, if you get hit with something and you don't understand what it does or nothing, you're just supposed to just die, because it's just easier than trying to stand on the field and be like, well, I'm immune to everything until I understand how this works. Like that just does not work. I've had problems with that before. So I am the wording, I'm not using this wording at all, but basically if somebody hits you with an ability, you don't understand how it works, just be dead and go figure out what the ability does without interrupting the game and making a bunch of other people die that wouldn't have died if you'd have understood how the ability works. And now that if it's just you and that person and you can figure it out real quick, that's kind of fine, but I don't think this was the case in what this is talking about. So that's kind of addressing it roughly.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I actually put this one in there. Certain ladies should refrain from falling down. Female dogs be tripping.
Was that your joke?
Yeah,
That was my terrible joke.
that was a whack.
You guys thought I wasn't funny.
No one laughed.
Are you the jester?
To be fair, I typically laugh at the jester's jokes. I do think they're kind of funny.
But you won't laugh at mine?
I
That
read
wasn't
that
funny.
earlier and I was like, what does this mean? Is somebody trying to be like...
We all read it and thought the same thing.
I
Just
don't
move
know.
on.
I have one from the jester, though.
Like
Can
another
you
one from
explain
the
that
jester?
last joke to me, please? No, I'm kidding. I get it.
Off air.
Okay.
I'm thinking of serving a drink in the tavern. It's Earl Grey steeped with eucalyptus leaves and infused with CBD oil. It's high quality.
Oh,
The
Whoa.
jester.
wait a minute.
What?
Wait
the
a minute.
Jester. It's signed by the jester.
Somebody made that
Somebody
joke
needs
today.
to watch the Patreon then.
Yeah.
Because there's a connection.
Okay,
between
now
this
I'm
pun.
Is that the person you thought it was that made
Yeah.
a similar? Okay, I think we're
Yeah.
on to something then.
Oh,
Shouldn't have used the same joke as the jester.
like the same exact pun.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, so I agree with this one. It says you shouldn't triple team someone in Assassin's Creed if they aren't your target. I agree. In fact, we had a moment today where I was about to be triple teamed, and because you were blood pacted, and it would have been you and Pius and Trinity all against me. And to be fair, Pius did ask, "Hey, am I allowed to do this?" And he was told no, thankfully. But yeah, that shouldn't be happening. So if you're the person that put that in there and this happens, sorry. I don't know. I don't know what happened. So
And I feel like a lot of this wouldn't happen if the people that are like I guess I'm kind of projecting because I think this is what I would tell my clan whenever we would play, like, say, in Last Man Standing. I'd be like, I'm not going to chase you down, but if you come anywhere near me, I'm killing you. I'm chasing you. Like, if you come near me where I can swing my weapon at you, expect to get killed. Like, I'm not going to mess around and try to make people think we might be teaming up at all. Basically just avoid me.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I would say
and
in
that's
most
something
fights.
similar that I've said to my previous clans too, is like, look, I'm not going to go out of my way to come get you.
Sure.
But if you get in my vicinity, I'm going to have to kill you. Don't
Right.
come within 15 feet of me because I'm not going to break the rules of the game.
So, because it used to be like this wouldn't be as big of a deal as the teaming up stuff, because like I might go over and like you might be in my clan and you're fighting him, I'd go over there and maybe stab him, but right after I'm stabbing you, you're dying. But if
And if
that's
you don't,
really
you're cheating.
that's a really fine line though, yeah, for people to be working within. But I feel like if people did it right, this wouldn't even be an issue. People saying, "Oh, you're double teaming me." Well, maybe I was, but I killed him right afterwards. So what do you want me to do? I killed him. You know, like that's sometimes before, whenever this wasn't like a big thing where people tried to do this stuff, it kind of played into the role play of it, where you could say in Last Man Standing, hey, Heston wins places every time, guys. Why are we letting him win? Like, surround this guy and somebody go in there. We don't got to do it all at the same time, but we're planning on killing this guy first to make sure he don't place or whatever. And that was never like an issue. Like, nobody seemed to care about doing that before, but I think it was the way it was approached.
Yeah.
And like the attitude about it is a little different, where it's
That's
not
fair.
like, well, we're teaming up on you. It's more like, you know, I'm in character saying, hey, this guy wins this thing all the time. Why the hell are we fighting each other? Let's kill him first. Meaning, you know, not like everybody just run over there and cluster kill him or whatever, but I mean, focus on this guy first. And when he dies, whoever else is near me is going to die next. You know,
Right,
like
yeah.
where if they did kind of surround him and go kill him, well, that person that just killed him needs to look out, because I might run in there right afterward and try to kill that person.
Right.
Yep.
But
I agree.
you know, sometimes I feel like they don't always do that. They'll just walk away from each other after they kill somebody that they might be standing near together. You know.
Well, I think we might have a way to fix that, which we'll talk about in a minute. But let's go through the rest of these. I want to do this one last.
True. I'm good. So
If-
this is an out of.
I got one. I'll do it. If you are hit by slow, no matter where you are hit, you are slowed for 10 seconds and can't run at someone.
Yeah, I also read in the Squire test book today that also you have to wait a whole second before moving your foot. So, like, if you're slowed, you can't move 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. That's how slow works.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're trying to move faster than while you're slowed, rather, you're cheating. So, 1 second. So, anyway.
I believe that a swear jar should be implemented.
That's fair. I did hear a lot of cuss words today. I mean, I don't know how that would work exactly, but
Like what, you put a copper in, but if you don't
yeah.
have
But
it,
if you
what
don't have
do
a
do?
copper, then what? Yeah, we'll
Just beat you up.
think about it. I
I'm
guess.
just joking. Okay.
I do think that we have like a lot of newer members, and sometimes like some like just known rules or things that we've went over before get kind of forgotten with the new members. I think maybe we just need to address again, like, hey, we're in a public space. You need to be respectful. You know, you can't be out here acting like hooligans. Maybe not word it like that, but
Hooligans.
yeah.
No hooligan.
Do you want to take the
hooligan-y.
lead on this, or do you want me to? I care not.
You can go ahead.
Okay. So this is I guess I should preface this by saying that it may be kind of a divisive
Sure.
topic, but I don't know that it's wrong. In fact, my vote would be to promote it. I mean, I think it needs refined. But anyway, let me just start this. The preface to this says, I am among the highest level players and get my share of wins. Okay, so the person that is proposing this is saying basically that they're a high level player. The proposal. I propose we get rid of winners' experience rewards. And he's listed a reasons on here, and I'm going to go ahead and read it, and then we can kind of talk
Sure.
about it.
Go ahead.
The reasons that he's listed, it says it causes people to desire winning over having fun. The same handful of people get it 90% of the time. It speeds up leveling. I agree with that. His alternative is that instead we could give XP to people for good sportsmanship and good role play. I think that probably could be worked on a little bit. However, we already give experience for good role play and to be fair, everybody should just being a good sport. That's, in fact, we punish people for not being a good sport. So, it says reasons. This will instead promote good attitudes and less reasons to bend the rules. And it just says thank you for your consideration. So,
And-
what are your initial thoughts on that?
My initial thoughts would be I don't have. I can't think of an objection to it. Like, I can't think of, like, a good objection to that. Like,
It seems really
maybe
logical
it's out there,
to me.
but yeah.
It's well, that's why I said it's going to be a divisive topic because there are some people that live for experience, but I think that's the problem. Like,
Right.
there are some people that are like, oh, did I get XP for that? Did I get XP for that? And I think instead we should be promoting having a good time, showing up and role playing and playing a game rather than people getting upset because they don't win. And I
And-
think that this does, the XP for like winning XP, like does help promote that idea.
And another thought I have is that it is true that it is like compounding the problem of someone becoming more powerful and thus being able to win more, and therefore become even more powerful. Where it doesn't make a lot of sense.
And you did use some kind of big words there, like compounding, those kind of things. But basically what he's saying is it's snowballing. Like the people that are high level are sometimes winning because they're high level, and it's just going to get crazier and crazier the more winning XP they get. So like right now, and I'm among them, you have 3 or 4 players that are like way higher than everybody else in XP. We could slow that down by doing this. And then it would just be we're fighting to have a good time and just to say, oh, we won this event rather than I'm going to fight my butt off to get an extra, 25 XP for winning first place.
And here's another thought. We could give something else, like something simple, like popsicles. You win first, you get a frozen popsicle. There you go, and
I
we
might
cheer.
be more motivated to win a popsicle.
Right. And then also, I will say another thought I had was, Patrol is probably the funnest game I play. Like
Right.
it's a
And there's
blast.
no winner.
And I think part of the reason why that is so fun is because everybody knows the point of that game isn't to win the game. It's to make it really fun for like the new person. Everybody's there to have fun. We're all trying to make sure that the new person's first impression of our LARP game is really positive. And so everybody's trying to be a good sportsman about everything, like, hits and stuff. They're not really worried about, if they think they got hit, they just go ahead and take it because, like, what's the point of sitting out here and arguing and making it terrible for everybody, or whatever. And so, like, I think that we've already kind of play tested this in a way with that game. And that game and, say, Scramble's really fun for that same reason, is that that there's really it's not really high stakes. So, like, who cares if I go out there and die over and over or whatever? Like, it doesn't matter. I get the same thing either way. So,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I think this needs refined. But the foundation behind this idea, I love. What are your guys' thoughts? I mean, you haven't said much on it.
I kind of agree. Again, yes, it does need refined, but I agree that, as a marshal, I see it in the simple fact of too many people are, trying to stand and wait around on the side until it's time to fight for,
Yeah. Like
One,
last
two, or
man
three.
standing
Yeah.
is so boring.
it is.
because
Yeah.
nobody wants to fight.
They just want to wait until,
If there's
the last
no
place. And it's like that.
and I get it, but like at the same time, if you remove the XP thing, people are just gonna fight each other. There's no sense in standing on the side the entire game and trying to win at the end.
Yeah.
Like now I'm gonna pick somebody out and be like, oh, I'm gonna fight them. That's a good fight. I'm gonna go for Valnir right off the bat because he challenges me. Whatever it is.
And I think that will also kind of help with the RP aspect
Absolutely.
in the simple fact of, well, if we're not going to get XP for winning, then let's just get XP for for role play. Whether it be, hey, I got an awesome, kill, or, because I got an awesome kill that, you or Mercer, did an excellent RP for me. And again, we've talked about this before, how it's going to promote that. And, like with our bet that we have, we are trying to help promote the RP. And I think that having it something like that will only help promote it more.
Agreed. I agree. So
yeah, I think. Well, go ahead.
did you have anything to add to this, Mercer?
No, I mean I'm kind of neutral on it because I understand how boosting up your XP and stuff like helps you get your abilities faster and stuff like that. Like I understand why people want it, but I also understand the issue that it causes.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I don't really have a good solution to throw out there.
I say we try it and see how it goes. And, one of the things, and I've said this before, is that I've been that super high level player. Like I've been where the abilities are just crazy. And it kind of ruined the fun for me. It was too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I could go in and kill a clan by myself if I wanted to, and that's not fun. I'm not really. Did it feel good to win? Sometimes. Other times it was like I had Battle for the Crowns where I didn't swing my sword. That sucks.
Yeah.
You feel like you don't even earn it at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm all about doing anything we can to slow down the XP, and I also think it could help with some of the people that like to not take their hits and whatever because they're trying so hard to get that extra XP. So,
And
We could try some different stuff too. At first I was thinking, well, you could just do like copper, right? Like you'd be like, what about the idea of, oh, if you're third place, you get 1 copper, second place gets 2 copper, and third place gets 3. Then I'm like, well, it's the same thing.
it's just going to compound and
You're gonna
snowball
end up
too.
being like, well, yeah, exactly. Where they have more copper than anybody else, so then they're going to be more powerful than anybody else in that regard. And then I was thinking, well, maybe like with the idea with the popsicles, maybe we could have like a chest that has different things in it, and if you win first, you get to pick something out of that chest, but none of it is like reward outside of just like a cool thing to have,
Like what kind of
like
things?
like a Phlarp sticker,
Oh,
just as an example,
Yeah,
or a
that'd be
popsicle, or a, there's just
there's going
different
to be a
weird
popsicle
stuff
and a
in there.
Phlarp sticker in the same
Yes,
chest.
yes.
All right.
I don't know.
I think I'm following.
I'm just trying to think.
I
of
got
like,
you. Well, I mean, we can
something that
still think
isn't-
about some things off of podcast time.
Something that when we say when people are like wigging out, we can be like, look, all you get if you win is this anyway.
A Phlarp sticker. Calm
yeah,
down.
like
Right.
it's not a big deal.
Like
right?
I will buy you a popsicle. Shut up.
Or like a. No, this is dumb. Okay, well, never mind.
I hear what you're saying,
A
but this is
free
something we're
sandwich
going to
from
take.
Mercer.
Some kind of reward system. But
I'll
that
take a
isn't-
free sandwich from Mercer anytime. She
That
makes
isn't
good
making
sandwiches.
them more powerful, basically. Like
Those-
rewards that aren't necessarily making them more powerful.
Yeah,
Basically.
I agree. I agree. The
Yeah.
the reward shouldn't be so much of a reward that you're thinking about cheating in order to get it.
Right.
So
Or you're willing to split hairs right about who did what and when this happened and whatever.
I don't
right?
want to argue with nobody out
Well,
there.
what if you just lowered the XP that people get for first, second, and third?
It's
I thought
still
about
gonna
that too,
kinda
but
compound a
I
little bit.
still I think it's possible to do that maybe and lower it enough that like people don't give a crap about it. But I don't know how you'd do that. What would be the point of doing it so low that no one cared? If
And you're still gonna get something out of it. Like I think if you did it this way, what you're gaining from winning is just like prestige and like that person's a good fighter, rather than like motivating people to not or to do things that they shouldn't be doing,
Right.
which I think is happening. And so I really like this idea. Again, it needs refined.
and like you said, I think we need to. What we could do is next weekend just test this. Just be like, okay, we're gonna do it this weekend without winning XP. We're playing games. There's no winning XP. You don't get any bonus XP or none. Outside of maybe for really good role play, we might do a RP XP. Did that shut off? Is that still going?
Who knows?
Eh,
Cool. And then see how it goes. And if we feel like we still need to implement something, we could try doing that a little bit, or whatever, or,
Yeah.
just basically start play testing
We
this
gotta
and see
play
how it
test a little
goes.
bit, yeah.
Yes.
Or what you could do is one weekend just play things where there is no first, second, third, where there is no winners. Just do events like that the whole entire weekend and see if people feel like they had more fun doing that, or if they felt like
You mean the games that are already designed to not give
yeah.
out? Well, they're just limited, basically.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of those.
and
But
some
I
people
also
do
think
get tired of playing Scramble. Like, they want to play
Well,
other
like
games.
King of the Ring doesn't have a winner.
Well, that's true.
King of the Ring is exhausting.
You almost need, if there's a ton of people, you almost need like 2 rings because people stay in the line so long that
Yeah.
they get bored.
I agree with that.
and I think that another thing that will help with this is a lot of times people get so enamored with the fact that they want to win
Mm-hmm.
that attitudes or trying to think of the word, but like attitudes and things like that become very heated. And
Agreed. That's
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm
kinda what's-
hoping to eliminate a lot of is
Yeah.
is sloughing, hurt feelings.
yes,
Like those things won't matter if there's
Or-
I mean, it shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Something that scares me sometimes is desperate swings. Like people will make desperate swings in an attempt to, because they just like don't want to die or whatever. But then they're swinging like way too hard, really, like way
Mhm.
harder than they should be. And if you knew that even if you did die, it didn't matter that you weren't going to really lose anything either, then maybe it wouldn't be as big of a deal, and people wouldn't.
I agree. I think with Phlarp, especially as the martial side of things, somebody that helps runs the game, I think that safety is priority one over all else. And I think that doing this is going to make things a little safer for the same reasons that North just talked about.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good idea.
I agree.
We could at least try it. There's going to
And
be
we'd still do
be
the-
negative feedback to
And
this.
we'd-
Like we know that.
There is
And
no
there-
matter what you do.
And we'd still do, the shout outs and say who placed. You just
Sure.
wouldn't get a bonus for it, or no bonus XP, basically.
And this is also going to reward the people that are there. Like to me, that's a big deal because
That's
your
and
your
then-
XP is going to be based on the amount of time that you spend there, and that's kind of how it should be.
Yeah.
Because you could get ahead of the people. You could close the gap on somebody that has way more XP than you by simply being there on a day that they're not.
Yeah, because you still get XP for participation whether you win or not.
Yeah, I think we still do our timely XP. We still do our role play XP. You get donation XP. That'll make donation XP more important.
Mhm.
It's going to make gold members more important.
And like she was
Yeah.
saying, the participation XP for the games, like when you're playing a
Yeah,
game, you
you're
still
gonna
get a
get
little
10
bit of
XP no
bonus
matter
XP,
what.
right?
Yeah.
Well, and there's different things too, like the costume contest, the trash bash, all kinds of things that don't even revolve around fighting anybody that you can get XP for.
Yeah, I think it'll motivate people to do the extra stuff too. And I think it's all good. But-
That's a good point though. For like say the costume contest, we should still have placing XP for that.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's not a matter of like sloughing and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I
There might
agree.
be some games that would still have a first, second, third, or whatever placing.
And there's some
And that-
refining that's going to happen here. So
Yeah.
Not all games may fall into that.
right.
And that could be something too where you start doing the costume contest a little bit more often.
Mhm.
Well, we already do it once a month. I think that's plenty often enough. That's my opinion, but
Even the role play after a game, like say Pandemic Panic, if there was no winner for that game, people would just keep role playing for a little bit, probably, or I would feel like they might at the end of it, just to have closure on the game, knowing that there's not the winning XP going around or whatever. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
oh
if they
yeah,
make
I'd
role
be screaming,
play.
"Go get back to the town!"
Yeah,
you
we
know?
did it.
Yeah.
It's over. Yeah, let's get to the
Mhm.
safety. Yeah, or stuff like that, right?
Well,
Yeah, I agree. And, I mean, like, we tried to incorporate the RP aspect of before the game started. So, I mean, if we can carry that momentum, I think it'd be great.
I agree.
I
Was
agree
there
too.
was there anything else that we needed to add in regards to this or anything else?
A code word.
We
Ah.
almost forgot that again.
Wow.
It's gonna be right at the end. What do you think?
I think the code word should be
Yeah.
Just
I
blank.
don't know.
Just
I
nothing?
got, I got nothing.
Counterintuitive.
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 Use that in a
You know how many
sentence.
people are going to butcher that?
I'm good with it. That's fine. I couldn't come up with
Yeah, I'm
nothing
good with
else.
it.
So
And I even spelt it for everybody, so
I don't know. I was gonna say something about the sunshine and Jason taking more damage, but I couldn't figure out how to put that all into one word. So
yeah, that's fair.
terrible vampire.
You tired over
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
It's almost time for his bedtime.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you keep battling in the name of our capital, Darvishan.
And we hope to see you all next week.
Bye.